All right. There was a ceasefire deal announced between Israel and Hamas, which is supposed to start on Sunday. All right. We got to be iffy about this. It's in 3 phases. The second and third are in draft form. So really, it's just focusing on the first one. Hamas releases 33 hostages, women, elderly, the wounded, and ill. OK. In return, Israel releases 50 Palestinian prisoners, including 30 security prisoners. OK, so it's the opposite, right? Hamas is keeping men, and it's bad men that they want, OK, who are all serving life sentences, by the way. So this is first phase. There's also humanitarian aid, which is the right thing to have in there. Now, the question is, will it ultimately lead to the IDF pulling out of Gaza and the release of more hostages? That takes us to what 2 and 3 brings, and it's going to take time. Let's bring in Frank Lowenstein, okay? He served as the former U.S. envoy for Israeli-Palestinian negotiations under President Obama. Help me understand, Frank. I want the people back. I don't understand why any deal doesn't begin with give me the people back. I get that the leverage is out of there, but that's what the deal's about, and that's what the United States and the other friends and allies are about, to keep a deal even if you give away your main shit. Haven't they had them just too long to justify letting them keep these people?
Absolutely. I mean, they should have let him out months and months ago. The problem is fundamentally that in order to release all the hostages, Hamas is insisting on a full end of the war and a complete IDF withdrawal from Gaza. And Netanyahu has just flatly refused to do that. In fact, he's been quite clear that he intends to resume the war as soon as this 6-week period is over. So the best way to look at it really is that we're getting some hostages out, which is an incredible thing for them and their families. And there's humanitarian assistance going into people that are really in dire straits in Gaza, and that was urgently needed. Whether it gets extended or not will really be a function of whether Donald Trump decides that he wants to put a little pressure on the Israelis. Because if he doesn't, and they're left to their own devices, yeah, we're looking at 6 weeks at the best, and half of the hostages out.
You know players involved in this, and you know the dynamic. The idea that this wasn't Biden, it was Trump, because he said they'll be hell to pay if it's not done by the time I get in there. Why do you think this deal got done?
Well, that was not a particularly credible statement. I think the people in Gaza would basically say something along the lines of, we're already in hell, what more can you do to us? But what Trump did do, according to the Israelis, is he put a lot of pressure on Netanyahu, who's really been very reluctant to agree to a ceasefire, as you know, for the last months. He's got an extreme right coalition that's threatening to pull his government down if he agrees to a ceasefire. So what Trump did is he switched the balance in Bibi's political calculus from the extreme right in his coalition to the United States. And that was a very positive thing in getting us over the line. And that being said, Biden's worked tirelessly on this for the last 8 or 9 months and really deserves the lion's share of the credit for getting the deal done in the end.
Does your gut tell you that Bibi respects the deal?
Yeah, although I did one of these deals in 2014 with Secretary Kerry, and it fell apart within hours of the sides signing on. So I think it's important that they have an implementation mechanism, which they've created in Egypt to try to hold people's feet to the fire. Anytime you have a deal that both sides felt sort of pressured into accepting, which is I think what you have here, then the risk is that they're just not really going to be committed to following through on it. So it's going to take a lot of external impetus to keep this on track.
And also, you can't forget, whatever you think of Bibi Netanyahu, he's making a deal with terrorists. Frank Lowenstein, this is uncertain at best. We'll be watching it. I wish more people were going to come home. I don't know that any are going to come home yet. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you very much. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.